Yeah, so what happened was after we won the award, people started calling us from a lot of bigger venues. You know, we played Caesar's Palace, we played Las Vegas. We were just moving. By the end of that period, we realized that we needed to put some more music out. So we didn't have a producer, so what we did, we had to go find a producer, and we interviewed a lot of guys. We interviewed some people from Philly. They weren't available because we really wanted to go to Philly because of what they were doing. But they weren't available. It was like a long line. I mean, you had Stylistics out there, you had Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes, you had the Futures, you had the Intruders, so we were like kind of last on the totem pole. So we didn't want to wait around, you know. As they say, time waits for no man, you know, and we didn't want to wait. So we went to New York, and we met this guy named Stan Vincent. Now, Stan Vincent, we didn't know at the time, but Stan Vincent was a producer and a writer, and the song that he wrote that is still playing today is Ooh Child, and the group was the Five Stair Steps. So when we heard Ooh Child, we knew he had a connection with the kind of sound that we wanted to portray. So we hooked up with Stan, and Stan wanted to do the album, so that's what we did. We went in the studio, we started practicing different songs. In the middle of that, Jeff came to us and said he had a song. Jeff Burgess, who was a baritone singer with Soul Generation, he said he had a song. So we said fine. He brought it to my house, and we sat down, and that song was If I Had $1 Million. He had the lyrics, and a lot of stuff was in place, and we kind of helped with some of the background parts and stuff, and then we presented it to Stan, and Stan loved it. Stan went in and put music behind it, and we recorded If I Had $1 Million, along with 8 other songs on the album. Now, we weren't too happy with the direction of the album because it sounded too pop to us, but we were in no position to say no. We had to go with the flow, and that's what we did. We just kind of put our talent into the songs that we got, and we just did them the best we could. And today, everybody still talks about that first album that we did. It was called Beyond Body and Soul, and it was a great picture. A guy named Alan Breslow did the picture, and we were dressed like gangsters. We wore those big hats and the long maxi coats and all that. So what happened, after we did the picture in the photo session, we went back to the studio to start recording the music. So in the interim, what happened was, it was so funny how it worked for us. The photographer, Alan Breslow, was a photographer for movies and motion pictures, and he of us to Gordon Parks from Superfly fame, and writer from Superfly, and he showed it to Gordon. So Gordon said, "Good, I want to use those guys in the movie." And they called us about the movie and asked, "Did we want to be in the movie?" Hey, sure, we'll be in the movie. But in the interim, what happened was, about 2 days later, we got a call from London, and they wanted us to come open up for the Temptations at the Talk of the Town in London. So little did we know, we didn't know what Superfly was going to be today. If I knew it, I wouldn't have went to London, but that's just the way life is. So we called and said, you know, we'd be interested in doing the movie, but we have to go to London first to commit to this gig, and then we'll be back. So we got over to London, and we just kept getting gigs in London. So we couldn't get back to do the movie. They proceeded to do the movie. They got the character players, and the rest was history with Superfly. So ultimately we didn't get in the movie. I like to think that we inspired some of the stuff in the movie from our attire. So, but we did go to London, and we did open up for the Temps, who was my favorite group, and who taught me a lot of stuff vocally. Eddie Kendricks was the master, sitting on top there with the tenor voice.
So who were some of the original members of Soul Generation? Soul Generation
started out, well, let's go back to the beginning. The Citation started out with myself, Cliff Perkins, Earl Davenport, Thomas Timmons, and Herman Hammond. Through the year or 6 months, it changed. There was also a gentleman named Ronnie Johnson who was part of the Citations at that time also. As time went on, some of the guys left, so Soul Generation became Herman Hammond, Jeff Burgess, Cliff Perkins, and Earl Davenport, the late Earl Davenport. Through the years, Earl passed away, and we replaced Earl with a gentleman named Mike Murphy. Mike stayed a while, and then we moved into another gentleman, Ted West came in. Well, before Ted, there was a William Jones. Now, William Jones was a singer out of Jersey City who was the lead singer for Tomorrow's Edition. They made It's in the Grooves and a few other songs. I had affiliation with that group for a few years because I did some music with them. But William Jones came. He stayed for a while, and then Ted West came. As time went on, the names have changed to protect the innocent, I guess. But now the group is. But let me give you a little story. When I started Soul Generation, I always loved the Fifth Dimension. I always loved that sound. I loved the girl sound and how it mixes with the guys' voices. And I always wanted to do that, but I never had the opportunity to do that. It was always 4 guys. I just couldn't put the guys out and say, you're gone. We established ourselves, and we were doing good things. And they were great singers and great dancers, and they were better than I was, that's for sure, because I learned so much from them. Most of the stuff I learned was from those guys. Jeff Burgess and Herman Hammond could really go, along with Earl Davenport. So as we changed over the years, I got my chance to get that combination I wanted with women. So what I did, I brought in my daughter, Crystal, and I brought in my fiance, which is Vita, and I put them in the group with another young man, Donald Taylor. So now the group consists of Donald Taylor, Vita LaRue Ramos, and Crystal Perkins, and of course me, Cliff Perkins. And I got that sound that I want, that Fifth Dimension sound, and we do all kind of harmony things and harmony structures that I like to do, the 4-part harmony and all that kind of stuff, which Jeff Burgess was the one who started that 4-part harmony stuff, and not in Soul Generation. He just had an ear for it, and he passed it on to the rest of us. So it was a great run with those guys. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed learning a lot of stuff from them. Along the way, I picked up all the choreography. I used to do all the choreography for the group. Jeff would handle all the notes. Herman, he would just do the choreography and do the notes. And Earl would do the same thing. So me and Jeff and I had jobs within the organization also. To date, the group is, like I said, Crystal Perkins and Donald Taylor, Vita LaRue, and Ramos, and myself, Cliff Perkins. And we have been running and making this thing happen. We're all over the place. We're doing a lot of shows. And what we're doing now, what we've just done is put together a new CD. The new CD is called Ooh Baby. And I'm so pleasantly surprised at what's happening with this CD. I mean, it's selling. CD Baby has it on their format, and every other format has picked this song up, and they're sampling the song, and they're doing all kinds, just downloading the stuff and buying the stuff, and we're selling it at the shows. It's in some record stores, and Stan's Record Shop, who's a friend of mine, he takes everything that we put out, whether he likes it or don't like it. That's friendship. So the CD is doing real well.
Who are some of the producers and writers?
First song, Ooh Baby, is a song that I co-wrote with a guy named Gary Culpepper. The second song, Your Way, is a song that I wrote and produced. Third song, In Your Way, is a song that I wrote and produced. Now, In Your Way was out on our first album. What I did, I flipped it around a little bit musically. The fourth song, Show Your Love, is a song written by Gary Culpepper and produced by Gary and I. And then the one that's playing now, My Love Is Real, was written by Gary Culpepper and myself. Now Gary's an established writer out of Newark. He does a lot of stuff with Kool and the Gang. And we've done some other projects together. Matter of fact, we did a project with Soul Generation, Ray Goodman and Brown, and the Manhattans, and Kali Spayan produced it from Kool and the Gang. And we're waiting for that to be dropped. Could be dropped any day now. Then there's another song, 6th song, called Nice and Slow. I co-wrote with a guy named Troy. out of Newark, and Heaven Only Knows was a song that was written by Tony Camillo. Music to My Ears, that's a song that I had the pleasure of writing, an up-tempo song with myself and a guy named Mike Thomas. Yesterday's Memories is a song I wrote with a gentleman called Frank Jordan. And Wait So Long is a song we just dug back from the first album and brought it back, and that was written by Stan Vincent. So it's a nice collection of songs, I think. We got a lot of write-ups on the song. It's just doing phenomenal, and I'm excited about it. The group consists of myself, Cliff Perkins, my daughter, Crystal Perkins, Mr. Donald Taylor, and Miss Vita LaRue Ramos, who was sitting to my left. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Vita LaRue.
Hey. How you doing, Miss Vita LaRue?
I'm good. How is everybody doing?
How long you been singing?
Been singing with Soul Generation since approximately 1998.
Okay.
I started out as a background singer, and just hung in there as original personnel retired. I was still hanging there in the background, and some slots opened up, so I guess I moved on up to the front. I've been singing since I was a teenager, I'll say, doing gospel and R&B, a little bit of everything. I sang with a few other acts. I did open for Ray Goodman Brown even before I got with Soul Generation, and Major Harris. We used to do summer outdoor concerts at the World Trade Center.
Okay.
And I got to sing with a lot of the acts, Major Harris and different acts. And even out there, I got noticed by a group from where you stole me from.
Exactly.
BT Express.
Good memory.
And so I did did some filling in with them for a number of years. And then finally, once I got with Soul Generation, that's what I've been doing.
Body and soul, that's the way it's got to be. Body and soul, ooh baby, come to me.
Okay.
So that was Hook on Body and Soul, and $1 Million was If I Had $1 Million, if I had $1 million. And that's where we are. That's what put us on the road to
Sure, we ready for some
go.
more.
My journey in the music business has not been a negative one. It's all been positive for me. I have no long, drawn-out history with problems and not getting paid and didn't get this and didn't get that, because I did get this and I did get that, and I'm still getting this and I'm still getting that. Because of, I guess, my business ethic, and I learned a lot from my cousin. He taught me a lot of stuff. A funny story. We were playing the Apollo. Soul Generation, Joe Simon, Al Green, and I think it was Laura Lee at the time. And I was on stage, and I had about $6,000 in my pocket, on stage. Okay, I'm dancing and bouncing around like a nut with the money in my pocket. And it just hit me that I said, wow, I got to do something. I can't be going from stage to stage carrying this kind of money. So I called Bill and I talked to him about it, and we set the business in motion, and we've been running the business in motion ever since. The group Soul Generation, they get paid. They don't have to worry about their money. There's no hassle. I never missed a payment with them for as long as they've been with me. There's never been I'll see you Tuesday or I'll see you Wednesday or call me next Thursday and the phone don't get picked up. None of that happens with Soul Generation. A lot of times Soul Generation is paid before they even hit the stage. Okay, so, and that's how I do business. That's how I'm able to keep people. And I think your word should be your bond. If you're going to do something, do it. If you can't do it, just say, hey, I can't do it. Because if you're asking me to do something, that means you can't do it either. So don't feel like, you got to do something wrong to do something right. So, and that's how we roll with Soul Generation. I mean, we have pride in what we look like. I mean, you know, we're always dressed. Everybody's dressed to the nines. The girls always look good, you know, and I think the guys look good too. You know what I'm saying? But it's, you know, it's a fun journey. There's no pressure, no hassles. We go, we do our stuff on stage. We rehearse as much as we can. Rehearsal is not so much for learning. Rehearsal for me is more so for timing. You know, I recorded Body and Soul in 1972. This is 2014, and I'm still practicing that song. So it's about timing and making sure you spin, or I spin when Vita spins, and Vita spins when Donald spins, and Donald spins when Crystal spins. So that's the purpose of rehearsal. It's not so much learning the song. I learn the songs here in my house, in the comfort of my living space. So I'm a stickler on rehearsal. I believe we have to have it. I believe no one is above rehearsal. I believe when we come to rehearsal, I believe you should come with a PMA, which stands for Positive Mental Attitude. Put it forth, put your best foot forward, leave all the garbage outside, and bring in fresh, clean, and a fresh mind, so you're open for change, and you're open for criticism. And don't take it personal. It's only to make the group better. We all need a little criticism every once in a while. For as long as I've been doing this, I mean, I make mistakes, and they bring some new stuff to the table that I got to be open minded and accept it. Now, if it's not any good, then I'll just say, hey, well, maybe I can take it and tweak it this way or turn it around. But I never say no. I listen to all of them, and if they have a harmony note or whatever, I listen. If it matches, we might be able to do it. But I do all the changes in harmonies and stuff in the songs that we do by other people. I can't change the harmony structure in my songs, because people are used to hearing it one way, and when we hit the stage, they want to hear it that way. They don't want to hear no changes. They don't want to hear no different words. They don't want to see me up there doing flips and all that kind of stuff. They want to hear us sing. They want to hear the words verbatim, on time, in time, and plenty of time. So I take pride in that. I think the core group that we have now is a great group. I think it's a great looking group. They make me look good. I've been doing this a long time. Father Time sometimes catches up with you, so they kind of keep Father Time away from me. Because when I get in the studio with them, I got to do routines, I got to dance and stay in shape and the whole 9 yards. So it's a great deal, and I look forward to doing this for as long as I can do it without any conflicts and no aggravation and negative vibe, because I don't deal with negativity. I don't deal with excuses. I mean, you know, just let's do what we got to do. I don't want to hear that your foot hurt, because my foot hurts too. Probably most of the time it hurt more than everybody else's, because it's the oldest foot. So, you know, so that's why, you know, if you stay focused and stay positive, I mean, you can get stuff done in a considerable amount of time. We don't spend a lot of time rehearsal. We come in because we prepared. We know what we're doing. It's just a matter of getting the timing together. And if we want to do a different song or cover somebody else's material, that's what we're going to do. And we put our little spin on it, and we've been doing it long enough to know how to make this thing work. I've been blessed. I've had the opportunity to work with probably everybody in the music industry. We've probably worked just about every corner of the world. When those songs come out, they put you automatically on the top. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, one example was we got a call to go down to the Joey Bishop telethon. And anybody who knows anything about telethons, that is, you're brand new on the block, you wait until it's your turn. Well, we went down to Philadelphia to the Joey Bishop telethon, and we walked in, and I was in awe of all the people that were there. We had the Temptations on one side, we had Supremes on another, Lou Rawls on another, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Spinners, and because our record was so hot, I guess at the time, which was Body and Soul, they walked us right on stage. They queued the song up. and we had business. We sang the song. We came off the stage, and everybody was looking at us like, "Who the heck is that?" You know, who are they to just walk in? But hey, that's the way it went down, and I wasn't knocking it. So, but it was a great experience for me to just to do this stuff. I mean, I've worked with a lot of different artists. Doing backgrounds on their songs. A lot of people don't realize my voice is played on a lot of stuff throughout the industry. I don't know, Change, Tomorrow's Edition, Ragelman and Brown, The Moments, with Phyllis Hyman. Gosh, it's just endless. Larry Wu, The Platters. I mean, I did 4 months with The Platters in Panama. You know, so I've been able to get involved with a lot of different artists. Just recently, I mean, I went out with Blue Magic to help them out. Their lead singer got sick. They called me and they said, "Would you come out and do some stuff?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" So I learned the songs, learned the routines, and went out with them with the permission of the group. I mean, I wasn't going to go without it might sound funny because I'm the leader of Soul Generation. I created it, but I think it was a respect issue, to respect my peers and just to say, I'm going to go out with them. What do you think? Because I didn't have to do that. I just could have went and just said, heck with it, I'm going and I'll be back when I get back. But I don't roll that way. So I got the permission from the group to go out, and it didn't interfere with anything Soul Generation had to do. And I went out and did some shows with them. My last show was in San Jose. And I parted ways with them, matter of fact, 2 weeks ago. You know, so they got a new lead singer, or they got a lead singer. I wasn't considered their lead singer anyway, because I was Soul Generation's lead singer. But I was just helping out some friends that needed some help. That's all it was about. And in the interim, we made some money. So it was a good time. Life is good. Music is good. I'm doing good things, and people around me are doing good things, and we will continue to move on and prosper. I'd like to thank Champaign and Chilltown for taking the time to come down and see me, and this is phase 1. We'll go to phase 2 next time. Peace.
Peace.